Hi, my loves. So, I have a lot to update you guys on, and I'm going to try to get through it as quick as I can because I'm currently at work. But I wanted to share my news with you because I've been holding back for about a month to 2 months. So, um, first of all, my last video that I did, I had told you guys I had suffered a miscarriage last year. And after that, I went on to birth control. I did not want to conceive for a little while. I actually wasn't sure if I wanted to conceive again. I'm getting older. I will be 34 this year. And I just got engaged last year. And I'm so excited. And so we were planning a September wedding. Well, the way that life works, I had realized financially, like, okay, we're going to have to pump the brakes on this a little bit and probably wait until next year. So we were still on birth control and actually using condoms as well because I was super scared to suffer another miscarriage. Like, I did not want to get pregnant. Well, we had talked about, like, okay, maybe I should get fixed because if we're not planning to have a baby until after the wedding, like that's multiple years from now. And I'm just not really comfortable. I mean, to each their own, of course. But me personally, I was nervous because I'm usually high risk and I didn't want to risk, being an older maternal age with the problems that I kind of already suffer with. And so I was like, you know what, maybe we should just be done. Well, God has other plans. So, surprise, I am pregnant with my rainbow baby. Um, I was waiting to start my period and waiting and waiting, and I really felt like I was going to, and I was having all the symptoms. The only thing that was a little bit more extreme for me was breast tenderness, and I was really tired. Mind you, I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. No, see, my brain's not working. I have a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old. And I work full time and, I'm getting a little bit older. So I figured maybe that was just kind of why, you know what I mean? I'm just constantly going through the motions of every day. And I waited and waited. And me and my sister-in-law, or soon to be sister-in-law, we kind of synced up, especially with me being on birth control and things like that. And so I was supposed to start first. And then I watched her start and then get off of her period. And I'm like, see, now I should be starting. And so I waited a little while. Like, I still felt like I was going to start my period. I'm like, my body has always been really weird. I've been one that does have really wonky periods. My body likes to just be uncooperative all the time. So one day, my 3-year-old jumped onto my lap and he had hit my boobs. And I about flew through the roof. And I'm like, okay, I need to go get a pregnancy test. And I'm like, I doubt it, but I mean, it's better safe than sorry. Like, these suckers were hurting so bad. So I went and took a test, and I have never in my life seen a test this dark. Actually, the only other time I've seen a test this dark was not mine. It was my best friend's, and she was carrying twins. Like, literally my line, like the pregnancy line, so I don't know if that's like your control line or your test line. I don't remember. Whatever line that is, that's usually not there, was darker than the other line. So I started freaking out, and I'm like, okay, I'm not just like pregnant. I'm like pregnant. And then I started freaking out, like, oh my gosh, like, did I hyperovulate? And, is it twins? I'm getting older. So I started panicking. I called my doctor's office immediately, and with, me having a miscarriage the year before, they got me in right away to do like a labs and all that stuff. However, they did not draw out of like the 9 vials of blood they took. They did not draw for HCG. I called back a couple days later and I was like, I'm curious what my HCG levels were because I was trying to see if I could kind of pinpoint because I had no idea how long I had been pregnant. And they're like, sorry, we don't do that. That's not standard. And I'm like, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when I've already had a miscarriage. I don't know how far along I am. I just thought it was strange. So they scheduled me for an ultrasound a few weeks later. So I'll just go ahead and tell you that I found out I was pregnant at almost 6 weeks. And that's when I got my positive test. And it was, like I said, the breast tenderness and the extreme exhaustion that kind of caused me to want to test. From that point on, I always have had a really good nose, always have. I'm like a canine. And so when I'm pregnant, it gets really intensified, but this one by far has been my worst. I, knock on wood, have not ever thrown up during pregnancy. I've gotten very nauseous and just wished I would, but especially with my last baby, so my 3-year-old, I was really sick with him, but like I didn't actually throw up. But with this one, I didn't really have morning sickness. I just, because my sense of smell was so extreme, it would make me nauseous and it would give me migraines. And so, sorry if you keep seeing me look down, it's because I have notes because I can't remember anything. So it was a really super bad increased sense of smell, and that would cause my headaches, my nausea. But I also suffer from headaches like every day, and I still am. It's horrible. But also in the beginning, and actually right up until like last week, so from weeks, I would say 6 to 12, I would literally have to wake up, eat, and then after I would eat, and I couldn't eat a lot, but once I would eat, I would be so exhausted I'd have to lay down. And I did this every 2 to 3 hours for weeks. I just could not function. Every time I ate, I felt sick, but I had to eat or I'd feel sicker. And I would just be so exhausted, and I would feel like I was going to pass out and faint. And my most extreme day, where I really, really thought I was going to throw up, I actually almost passed out in my bathroom. And so I talked to the doctor about that because I have tended to, my whole life, kind of suffer from a little bit of low blood sugar. And with my last son, I really struggled with low blood sugar. I wasn't like gestationally diabetic or anything, but I did have issues kind of all the time. I had to eat very frequently. So that would happen. And that kind of has calmed down. Like when I need to eat, I still need to eat, but it's not as extreme as it was. Let's see. Next. So I finally went in for my ultrasound, and the first thing, I was terrified because at around that point was when we kind of found out last time, like, okay, baby's not really growing the way that baby's supposed to be growing and things like that. So I was really, really nervous for this ultrasound, but it was also like, how far along am I? Am I going to go in there and they're going to be like, surprise, you're 6 months pregnant? Like, I was very, very scared. And so she was like, we're probably going to have to do a transvaginal ultrasound because you're probably quite early. But she's like, I'm going to try it like on your abdomen first. And so she put the wand on my abdomen. She's like, oh, okay. So then I was like really freaking out, like, oh man, how big is this baby in there? And she found the baby right away. And she actually turned the monitor. I could see baby's heart beating. And it was a baby because I was 9 weeks and 2 days pregnant at this point. So baby had arms and legs and was kicking and moving around, and she didn't let me listen to the heartbeat, but the heartbeat was at like 170 something, high 170s. And so, but she had asked me, like, she started looking through her computer and stuff, looking for the HCG that they should have drawn, because especially with me not knowing how far along I was, they use that to compare to like, okay, well, if you drew her blood around this day and her HCG was at this level, then she should be around this. So if it's not adding up on the ultrasound, then they kind of know there's an issue. So I don't really know why they never drew that, but it's very important. So another thing that I've noticed for symptoms, I have 2 different dates, which I think is weird because the dating ultrasound that we got, I got that directly from the ultrasound tech. And she told me you're 9 weeks and 2 days. When I went to my doctor, he had put me 2 days further along than what the ultrasound tech gave me. which I don't understand, but whatever. So I am either currently 12 weeks and 4 days or 12 weeks and 6 days. Baby is currently the size of a lime, and they are around 3 inches long already, which is completely crazy to me. Um, I've really kept this hush hush. We just really mostly just like our most private family knows about this. I just told my kids, my nieces and nephews, after I hit 12 weeks, and I'm still a little nervous about them knowing, but I want to celebrate no matter what. So I did wait, but now I feel like, okay, it's time for us to celebrate this baby, and whatever happens, happens. And I feel like after hitting the 12-week mark, I'm a little bit more safe, especially after hearing baby's heartbeat, which I did get to hear at my doctor's office about a week or so later. So the point that I'm at right now is today is currently Monday. It is June 2nd, I want to say, 2019. And on Wednesday, the 5th, I will go in and get the blood draw that they draw for like chromosome. Oh my gosh, okay. Chromosome abnormalities. And it's also a gender test. So within 2 weeks after that, I should know whether this little peanut is a boy or a girl. Now, y'all, listen to me. This is my last baby. I'm not having no more babies, no matter what. This is my last one. I have 2 boys. I am dying for a little girl. I'm not saying that if I'm a boy mom, all I know is boys. I'm not saying that if this baby's a boy, I'm gonna like not love it as much as if it was a girl. That's not the case at all. But you mamas know that you can kind of feel me, especially if you've already had 2 of one gender. I am so scared to find out what I'm having because, like, if it's a boy, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just want a happy baby. I want a healthy baby. And like I said, I'm a boy mom. All I know is boys. You know, I don't even know what I would do with a girl, you know? But at the same time, like, I grew up with boys. I'm the only girl. And I could not imagine my life without a little girl. I can't. I feel, and I'm just nervous because I'm just like, this is my last shot. And I really hope that God hears my prayers. And I just want a little girl. And I want my boys to have a little sister. And I just want it so bad. So if y'all believe, could you just say a little bit of prayers for your girl? Because I really just want a girl. But anyways, with that being said, I have gained this time. I usually have been really, really good. With each of my pregnancies, I've gained less than 30 pounds, and I usually don't gain in the first trimester. This one, I've gained like at least 5 pounds this trimester, which is stressing me out a little bit, especially because I'm getting married next year, and I know that you have to gain weight, and it's not like I'm being excessive with eating. I just have to eat more frequently, and so I'm just gaining weight. Also, another thing that's happening is, and I don't know, I know you can see this, but like I am breaking out so bad. I have all these bumps and I'm breaking out. My skin is oily and I've never had that before. My skin is not usually complicated. It doesn't really give me much of a fuss. And I feel like I remember before kind of breaking out a little bit, but this is just ridiculous. Like, I mean, I have makeup on, so it's hiding most of it, but my skin is freaking out. And, you know, it's not hot here yet. So it's not that it's like excessive heat. You know, we've really not even hit summer yet where I'm at. So I just don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I definitely am showing already. And that's why I actually had to tell both of my boys and my nieces and nephews who see me every day because I'm already getting a belly and it's getting harder to hide. And I was kind of sick of trying to hide it because, you know, I'm just not comfortable and everything. You know, it might look small to others, but to me, like, I feel huge already. But I will try to show you a belly shot. So yeah, we're going to try to do that. And then I will update you guys after I find out what this little baby is. So if y'all could just continue to say some prayers for me, and I will try to update. And yeah, so I am almost 13 weeks. So this is from conception to 13 weeks, or 12 weeks. We'll stop it at 12 weeks with baby number 3. And this is currently my rainbow baby. This is pregnancy number 4 for me. So I'm going to go ahead and try to show you a belly shot. Yeah. See, I know people can see it. I know I'm not crazy. And y'all know I'm a thicker girl anyways, but do you see this rounding happening? Like, my stomach is usually not a problem area for me. I'm usually pretty flat. Yeah, I'm bigger in other areas, but yeah. That is 12 weeks. I will see you guys in my next video.